always forget. About a week after the sale, which ain't too bad.
It's the appointed time for the monthly commission meeting. I will call it to order at this time. We do have all 5 commissioners here. Let records reflect that a quorum is, and this time I'm gonna ask Mr. Capps if he will lead us in the invocation, then we will say the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let's pray. Dear Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you for all the blessings you've given us. Just be with us today as we conduct this meeting. Help it be pleasing to you, dear Lord. We pray for all our men and women overseas fighting for our freedom. Just be with them and their families, Lord, and be with the ones in the community that need your help, that are sick and that need uplifting. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We welcome everyone here today. We thank you for your presence. The first order of business is to adopt the official agenda. There is one change that I think we need to consider, and that would be, Ms. Petty, the hearing date, the 16th.
16th, I think.
Which item is that? I'm sorry, I've
Number
had eye
12.
surgery that I can't hardly see.
Did we make your?
Yeah, you did,
Okay,
but I'm
number
having
12
a problem this
is
morning.
Item number 12.
12. Okay. I will go ahead and let you explain that.
Could we defer that to our attorney, please?
Sure. As I understand, there's going to be a special meeting on April 16th to discuss a possibility of an economic development project that's going on in the county. I expect that there will be an official notification that will go in the paper at least 7 days prior to that hearing, which will, be either today or sometime this week, consistent with the amendment regarding economic development that will set out the specifics of what that is. This is still in the early stages, and so really what we would be doing is just talking preliminarily about what the county may do. But it will be at a public meeting, and everybody is invited to attend and participate to the extent that you can.
My question is, because of the 7-day, do we need to change the agenda to reflect maybe a Thursday or a Friday rather than that Wednesday to make sure that we get the publication?
Well, you can't have the meeting on any less than 7 days' notice. So if you can't get it in the paper, then that would have to be changed. Today's the 9th, though. So I understand from Ms. Petty that she's going to do what she can to get it in the paper today. If you're more comfortable setting it out,
The earliest it could be would be tomorrow. I mean, if I'm lucky enough to get it in tomorrow's Andalusia Star. And if it has to run 7 days, then that puts next Wednesday as the 7th day.
Well, you don't want to be close on it, so if in doubt.
Could we
Push it out.
Do I have a motion that we adopt the agenda with the date changed to the 18th? That is a Friday. To hold that gives us 2 days leeway to work with the papers to get it in. So with that, do I have a motion that we adopt the agenda with that change?
I'm sorry, what is the date, the 18th now?
18th.
I'll make that motion, Chairman. Adopt the 18th.
Mr. Barton, second. All in favor say aye. Therefore, the motion carried and the official agenda is adopted. At this time, we're going to have comments from public officials. At this time,
Sorry,
I'm
Mr. Chairman, what time? 8:30?
10
o'clock.
10:30.
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
Okay, April 18th at 10.
10.
Okay.
At this time, we'll call on our public officials. I'm going to call on the Honorable Ben Bowden at this time if he has anything to say.
No, thank you.
With that, then I will call on our Sheriff, Dennis Smith, to come forward.
Thank you, Chairman and Commissioners. I'm here this morning. We've got some great folks that work with us in the Sheriff's Office and at the jail. Very proud of them. and we've got some folks that has been with us for a long time, got some longevity. They've been with us through some good times and some hard times, and I appreciate them for that. So today I've got some years of service plaques that I'd like to present. These three are from the jail. And it says, in appreciation for 10 years of dedication and continuing service to the Covington County Sheriff's Office. And I'd like to call up Miss Linda Benson, Bill Ballou, and Mandy Anderson.
Mr. Bale, would you like to get a picture? Birthday.
Just want to let them get on.
Huh?
Just let them get them on.
Okay.
And also, for 10 years of service in the sheriff's office, we have David Whitt, that's a security officer for us at the courthouse, Sergeant Kevin Wise, and Investigator Wesley Snodgrass. I also had a 15-year plaque for Investigator Howard West. Howard's has got some family issues right now. We need to keep him in our prayers and his family. His daughter had a baby yesterday. Day before yesterday. And I think the baby is fine, but the mother wound up having some real major problems, and she is now in the hospital in Sacred Heart, so we need to remember them. But Howard has been with us for 15 years. The next plaque is to my chief clerk, Ms. Pat Sweat, for 20 years of service. Our last one is Mr. Steve Gohagen. Steve? Steve has been with us now for 21 years, and sadly to say that he will be leaving us effective June 1st. Steve is retiring, moving on to bigger and, well, not bigger and better things, but smaller things, as in grandchildren. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
We'd
It's
like to
all
say thank y'all.
right. It's always good that we can recognize our employees for the dedicated service they have provided to us and the performance of the job done in a well manner. With that, we will now have the comments from citizens. Mr. David Dean had requested to speak to us, so at this time I ask Mr. Dean to come forward.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commission. What I'm here about is, you know that Civitan has given up the rodeo, PC rodeo they have every year. And Mr. Bo Campbell contacted me and wanting to carry the rodeo on. So we've made an effort to carry it on. The benefits from this rodeo, or the profits from it, will be donated to the Wounded Warrior Association, which is a very good association. I have a letter here for each of y'all, and
I think we have one of those in our packet.
have you? Okay, well, that was one that I wrote requesting. That's a letter requesting. And at the end, there's a flyer, Miss Brenda, for you with an address and all on it at the thing. And what we're doing, I think y'all have got a copy of the letter in your possession where the Wounded Warriors gave us permission to use their name and also, to donate to them. Like I said, the profits will be done and given to them. This is a nonprofit organization that Bo and I put together to try to work to do it for two purposes: for the donation to the Wounded Warriors and also for the economical impact that comes into the city. I have 4 businesses in Covington County, and so it profits me when people come and spend money here, as well as it profits the county and the taxes we receive from it. It also uses the arena. So, it's a good thing that we're trying to keep going. I hate the Civitan gave it up, but we're working to do it. And like I said, Bo is donating his time and everything to it. And so we're doing a $4,000 added money rodeo, which should bring people to Andalusia, Alabama. That's a lot of added money to a rodeo. So if you can see forth to help us, I've asked you for a $1,000 donation, but whatever you can consider, it would be deeply, deeply appreciated. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I can say this, I'm familiar with the Wounded Warriors Project, and having served in the military and seen the effects of war, those people need a lot of help, and you see that. So at this time, we will not take action now. We will wait until we get into new business to take action on this request. Also, we had on the agenda Miss Mary Alice Outlaw concerning the River 7 restaurant. She called a little bit a while ago and said that she was sick and would not be able to be here. She did not know if anybody else would be here to speak in regards to this situation. Are there anyone here that wishes to speak to this situation? If not, we will go into old business. Do we have anything left over from last agenda?
I don't think so.
I don't think we have anything left from last meeting that was carried over, so we'll go into new business. And the first order is to consider the request from Mr. Dean. I'm open the floor to comments or action.
Okay. I was looking at, well, I think it's a good thing. I mean, anytime we have people that's willing to do what they're asking to do, and take the time to support our troops and support people, it's given as much as they have, I think it's a good, we should support them.
Any other comments?
You putting that in a formal motion?
I put it in form of motion.
I second it, Chairman.
Any other discussion? Ms. Betty, let me be sure this comes out of the
Contingent, could someone state the amount?
$1,000.
Okay.
The motion is to donate $1,000 out of the contingent fund. Any other discussion? All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. There being none, motion carried unanimously. The members of the commission has the copy of the minutes for the last meeting. What is your pleasure?
I make a motion we adopt the meetings of the last, approve it.
Second it, Chairman.
Any comment? All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. There being none, motion carried unanimously. Next item is consider resolution regarding the Covington County Recreation Board. As bring you up to date, once we release the arena out, that person who was in charge of the arena was listed as a member of the recreation board. And since we no longer have the arena, has brought to our attention that we may need to change the makeup of that board so that that position goes to someone who is involved in the other recreational activities for here in the county. And we have a resolution to that effect, changing the makeup of that board. Ms. Petty, do you wish to speak to that?
Well, Ms. Steele and I worked on this resolution and determined that it seemed to be the consensus that maybe someone from the agricultural livestock area dealing with youth sports or youth activities would be a good fit for this. And that resolution, number 14040901 is in your packet. It's page 5. It basically describes the position, changing it from farm center arena manager to read agricultural / livestock youth activities representative.
Okay. Any questions? Do I have any comments or a motion to adopt this resolution?
I make a motion to adopt this resolution.
Mr. Barton made the motion.
I'll second.
Mr. Northern second. Any comment? All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. There being none, motion carried unanimously. Let me apologize. I skipped one item. I had surgery. Today was a week ago, and I got up this morning, my vision was a little bit blurred. And I had asked them to print it double, but Mr. Albright, I don't think it's big enough. But anyway, I got good people around me to keep me straight, so we'll go back up to that number 2 item, which was the approval of the accounts payable and payroll amounts. Ms. Petty, do you have any comments to that?
No, they were a little lower than normal, I think. We had a good month. Total of $1,241,573.27.
Any comments?
I make a motion we adopt that.
Mr. Northern motion. Do I have a second?
Second, Chairman.
Mr. Elmore second the motion. All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carried unanimously. Item 4 is consider board appointments. The first one up, do we want to handle them all at one time, or can we do them individually?
You can handle all that if you want to review and then discuss and get all of them in one motion if you'd like to.
Okay. On the Covington County Recreation Board, that person who has asked to be considered is Miss Lynn Hall, is that correct?
And Charles Simon.
And Charles Simon. You have 2. Okay, the Southern Alabama, since we have 2 there, I think it'd be best to handle this
That
one
one's
by
separate.
itself.
Okay, that's fine.
And so therefore, you have your 2 applicants for that board appointment. This time, the floor is open for discussion concerning those 2 applicants.
I would like to say one, I know Ms. Hall, she's interested in stuff, but I also have Chuck Simon, who's really big into 4-H and calf shows, and he's he really puts out a lot of time and efforts into youth, and so I think I like Chuck, but that's,
I think both of them will do a good job.
they're both of them, I'm saying, are good people, so I just know what Chuck's done as far as trying to promote the 4-H and get stuff done, and that's my take, but I mean, like I said, I know Ms. Hall, she does a lot for the youth too, so.
Chairman, at this time, I'd like to make a motion to nominate Chuck Simon.
We have a motion that we appoint Mr. Chuck Simon to the County Recreation Board. Do I have a second?
Second.
Terman second. Any other discussion?
Well, I think Ms. Hall will work with Chuck, and I think we can all work together. I wish we had it where we could do both of them.
I do too,
Because I think they'll all work with the same cause.
I do.
All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. There being none, motion carried unanimously. The next one is the Southern Alabama Regional Council on Aging. And we have,
Do we need to go back up there, Eddie Stacy and Chuck,
no,
that's already taken care
You
of?
took care of
their
those already.
Okay,
term
I'm
has
sorry.
not ended. They have
I'm
not
sorry.
ended. This is just for that one position.
All right, excuse me.
The Southern Alabama Regional Council on Aging, this is, we have 5 appointments. 2 of them have to be elected officials. That's by the Southeast Alabama Planning Council. We have the following applicants. Ms. Brenda Petty, asking to be for reappointment. Miss Maddie Freeney, who is a councilman in the town of River Falls, is, and that would be because Mr. Randy Wall did not ask for a reappointment. Robert Williamson, the mayor of Florella, is asking for reappointment. And Mr. Charles Mike Booth is asking for reappointment, for appointment to replace Mr. Lindsay, who did not run for re-election on the Opp City Council. That, and then Miss Virginia Merritt is also asking for reappointment. So what is the pleasure of the board, commission?
Chairman, I'll make a motion to appoint these names you call out with the board.
I second.
Have a motion and a second that we appoint the 5 individuals named previously. All in favor of this motion say aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, nay. There being none, these 5 persons are duly appointed to that board. The next one is Southeast Alabama Regional Planning and Development Commission. I believe at this time, Mr. Sammy Glover is asking to be reappointed to that position. And that's the only applicant that we have for that. So what is the pleasure of the commission?
Make a motion, we renew Mr. Glover's appointment.
Have a second?
Second.
Have a second with Mr. Northern?
No, I think it was it. I think Mr. Elmore said it.
It don't matter.
And any discussion? All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. There being none, that person is duly reappointed to that board. The next item is a memorandum of agreement with the state of Alabama for the Frank Jackson State Park Primitive Campsite Project. Going to call on Mr. Nordy to lay out this particular item.
About 2 or 3 weeks ago, Darren and I met with some of the people of the Alabama State Parks, met Miss Lisa Learway, or something like that. She's from Gulf Shores, and then we had the man from Montgomery. We had like 5 people there, and what they're wanting to do is have some primitive sites, for camping or for tents and such, and maybe run a little water or something simple. Then to read the Boy Scout, they wanted to do a little there where they got a bathroom where people would use the bathroom, and fix a small drive. They're going to reimburse us for this, and so we would be doing the work. But I think Mr. Cap can probably explain a few things here that he's went over with her that might explain it a little better to y'all.
Mr. Capps?
Well, basically, they want to build 8 to 10 primitive campsites, just like for tents. We'll have to build little pads where those are going to be, and use wood to have a retaining wall structured around them, and then build a road it's sort of a road there, but trying to improve it and connect it to the paved road, which is probably 50 feet the most, through some little brush. And, put the rock on the road and to make 2 small parking lots with rock. And, and there is a fence involved, I think, they were gonna put up a section of fence that borders the landowner. But they said they would reimburse, the county for labor, equipment, and material. And I think the max is 50,000 that they have for it.
So, if I understand it right, that this would just expedite the
Correct.
project rather than them having to take bids and
Correct.
that kind of stuff for this kind of work. And this would give, improvements there. It should draw in more people, should be an economic, contribution to our county for the economy. And with us not having, as I understand it, we would not have to put any money into that project.
No, sir.
And we get reimbursed for all labor and equipment
Right.
that we use.
Yeah. They also have other issues they would like to do, but this is a start. And that, we're trying to help them to do other things around our state parks, but this was one of their first steps. And, so they asked us very kindly if we would do this, and I think it would be a good thing, like, since we're getting our money back.
Mr. Captain, I'll ask you a question. Do we have to have permission from the state parks, department in order to work over there?
We have a memorandum of agreement on page 16. We probably need to get that executed, and then, we should be good to go whenever we're able to work it in.
Okay. Any other comments or questions from Mr. Northey and Mr. Capps?
I have none.
Do I have a motion that we adopt this memorandum of agreement for the primitive waterfront campsite construction project?
I so move.
Mr. Barton made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Elmore, second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. There being none, motion carried unanimously. Next item is a resolution for an A-Trip project agreement on Brooklyn Road. Mr. Capps, I'll call on you to comment on this.
Okay, this is a A-Trip project. It's resurfacing County Road 42 from the Andalusia city limits to the Connecticut County line, also known as Brooklyn Road. The length is 15.7 miles, and the cost is right at estimate 2.2 million.
And what is our portion of that?
It'll be 20%.
20%.
And we need the permission, county to pass the resolution for this agreement.
At this time, I make a motion to pass the resolution. It's A-Trip money.
Mr. Elmore made a motion to adopt the resolution 14040902. Do I have a second?
I second.
Mr. Northey, second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. There being none, motion carried unanimously.
Could I make a comment on that? I mean, I know it's late, but just to clear something up, that this money was already appropriated
Right.
for this 20% match, so it's nothing that had to be rebudgeted or nothing, so just make that clear to everybody.
What
Next-
Mr. Northern said is, the 2.1 million, you said, Mr. Cap?
Roughly 2.2.
2.1, so with,
That's
the
the
county
estimate.
putting up 40,000. What the county-
200,000.
No, it'll be-
Two,
yeah,
that's
two.
right. Yeah, I'm sorry.
You better,
Yeah.
I like your math,
Yeah, I do too.
but I don't
But
think
it-
the state likes it.
No, I apologize, but it's a good deal for the county. It's something we have already approved for in the previous couple of years ago.
Right.
At this time, I will combine items 7 and 8 and ask Mr. Capps to enumerate the pieces of equipment that he would like to be declared surplus.
Well, the first thing I would like to declare surplus is an old Alamo boom cutter that's mounted on a 99 Ford 8260 model tractor. It's just pretty much worn out, and we'd like to use that tractor to put in the bush hog fleet. It's a cab tractor with air. The second thing is, the tractor that the 99 is gonna replace is a 94 Ford 6640, Unit 205. Like to declare it surplus. And the third item is, an old boom cutter, which we really hadn't used in a long time. It's a 1984 6610 Ford tractor with a BA60 boom cutter. And the town of Florella has shown interest in buying that cutter. There is a little problem with the transmission, but they have agreed to pay $3,000 for it, which I think is probably pretty good average of what it should bring. We found when we cleaned out the Florella yard, an old John Deere 4-cylinder engine. My understanding, Jerry said it's no good, but I mean, I guess the block is good. And, we had an offer of a person would say that they would pay 3 cents more per pound than the junkyard. So the junkyard, weight was 820 pounds, which would have been $73.80 for their price, and he agreed to pay $98.40.
$98.40.
Yes. And let's see. And you're going into the trucks.
Go ahead, what trucks you want?
Okay, we have, 3 2007 Mack dump trucks that, I think we want to replace. Assume y'all, vote on purchasing 3 new ones. And we got a guarantee from them, from J.M. Wood Auction, for, $72,500. That's gross. But the last sale in March, those 07 trucks, same models, brought about, 91,000, so. But that guarantee is just something you don't have to worry about somebody lowballing you. Those 3 trucks, and, I was kinda confused about the lowboy, if we're gonna sell the lowboy or not. But
My understanding was not gonna, we had talked about the 2014 equipment. Not to do that, have to put money in it and possibly replace some of our backhoes.
Yeah, I think there was the discussion too about if there was gonna be an available lowboy truck, because that hadn't been,
They didn't have one of them to build out, did they?
Well, I talked to the Mack is not gonna be available to the end of July, but there's a Kenworth that should be ready on 6/10 of 14, which is 1 week after the sale. I wasn't sure how y'all were gonna do that, but
Then we discussed that your figures was there and it's gonna bring more than we could give for by the swap out, is that?
yeah, I
Am I
mean,
correct on that?
if it sells like the March sale, we should make close to $7,000 on it.
Even
But I
with the
mean-
commission, they won't take the sale, it'd be about a washout, what you're saying?
Yes, sir. Well, if it's the guarantee, it'd cost you $2,000 to operate that truck for a year, so. That's just the worst
Worst case.
case.
Is there anything else on that?
I think that gets all of the equipment that we had ready.
Okay, let me get are you asking for the lowboy tractor to be included, to be declared?
It's up to the commission.
I know, is that your request?
Would y'all, I feel like we need to.
I do. I think we need to go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead and put the low boy in there along with 3 trucks.
Yeah, because that was a question, I think, was the availability of one at that time. And then, like you said, they are one available, so.
I think after the workshop, you were able to determine there was one available.
Right.
Do I have a motion to declare surplus the items that Mr. Capps has enumerated at this time?
I'll make that a motion, Chairman.
We have a second by Mr. Bork. All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. There being
Excuse me.
none, motion carried.
Hang on, and first of all, give me the motion. Who made the motion?
Harold,
Mr.
Mr. Cole.
Okay,
That's it.
y'all have declared these surplus,
Right.
Right.
Barton. We need to
And
talk
as a
about how to
follow-up to-
dispose of them,
Right, on the,
how to dispose of
on
them.
the engine, I would recommend.
Just
what you
make a
might
motion,
wanna-
make a motion.
Well, there's already a motion.
Well, either
No.
amend the motion to include the disposal method, which I would prefer.
I'll amend the motion.
Okay,
How would you want to dispose of
The surplus.
maybe rescind the whole thing and start
Okay.
over.
Okay.
Do you mind?
You would like a motion to declare the following items surplus and the items will be disposed as described by Mr. Capps.
Right, but he went through that so fast, we're talking about some going to an auction, some going
Right.
to somebody for 3 cents a pound,
Over
and,
the thing.
and some going to, I don't know.
The 3 Mack trucks and the low bore will go to wood auction. Is that
Right.
correct, Mr.
But-
Capps?
So
The
you're gonna,
motor will be sold to an individual, and the side cutter will be sold to the city of Florella,
The complete unit.
the complete unit,
which is a tractor and a cutter.
boom cutter.
tractor and a
And
cutter.
then the other Alamo would be,
And the Alamo cutter,
The Alamo and the Ford,
Track.
6640, we may wanna put them on Gov Deals. But Alamo cutter would probably better to put at JM Wood, but the tractor may be better with Gov Deals. That's what I feel.
okay. Don't make up your mind so Miss Petty can get it in the records.
Okay, let's start with what's going to wood auction as,
Okay, the-
as an agreement. In other
Three-
words, we're improving an agreement right now
Right.
with wood auction to dispose of three
dump trucks,
3 Max,
No,
07s,
right, okay,
and one 2014 Mack tractor
okay.
truck,
And
and a boom cutter.
this Alamo boom,
Separate than the tractor, just by itself.
in our paper. I thought that low bore was a 13.
It's 14. That's what it says on.
It's a 14, that's the
just
reason I made the
I just
comment.
read it wrong then.
And that's why I was questioning whether we would need to get rid of it now and not spend that money.
Well, it does say 13. That's what it has on my sheet.
it is a thirteen.
It's probably.
Is there a discrepancy in the,
It is a 13.
2013.
We did a 13 for a 13.
Okay.
okay.
the 94 tractor, 1994, the second thing you talked about.
Yeah, that's, I like to put it on Gov Deals. It's the tractor by itself.
Tractor and cutter to Florella, okay. I'll get it all straight with you, but if y'all would include all of that in that,
The motion is to declare all of these items surplus along with the disposition.
exactly. Would that be what Mr. Elmore moved? And Mr. Barton
I'll
seconded?
rescind my motion.
That-
We have
Wanna start
voted,
back over
we are
again.
clarifying the motion
All
now.
right, thank you.
I will restate the motion. The motion is to declare the following items surplus and to dispose of them as follows.
Correct, thank you.
All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Uh,
All opposed, nay. As a follow-up to this, with these 3 dump trucks and the Mack Lowbore tractor being disposed of, we need a replacement. Is that not correct, Mr. Capps?
Correct.
So what is your recommendation?
Okay, on the dump trucks, there are 4 Kenworth that are available, T800s, automatic transmission for $153, $359. And there is 1 Mack dump truck, a GU 713 automatic, which would be $136, $778. These, I've told, will be ready. But I have been told that before and they weren't. But it shouldn't be a day or two, if, you know, not very long, not like the 2 months on that last KW, so.
I would like to recommend that we get the Kenworth, since we have 2 of those, and we only have 2 Max, and that would give us, by doing this, we're staggering our
Yeah.
replacement.
We'll have all the same type of trucks
And
eventually.
then the tractor, like I said, the KW should be ready the 10th of June. The auction is on the 4th through the 6th of June, so basically a week. But we could probably manage that.
You're
Yeah.
talking about 3 or 4 dumps now?
Three dumps.
Three dumps.
Three dumps
That's
and
the
a
tractor
Right.
truck.
That's what I, just wanted to clarify that.
Do I have a motion that we give Mr. Capps permission to purchase 3 Kenworth's dump trucks and 1 Kenworth?
And that figure
That's
you gave us did include the beds and
The
all
hammer.
the dump bodies.
They didn't include that hammer.
I think we need to include that.
We need to include it.
Okay.
I think it'd be beneficial to us.
But this is off the ACCA.
You might explain what a hammer is for those folks here, okay?
It's,
It's not to beat it and destroy it now.
Yes, a hammer just to vibrate the bed, the body of the truck that hauls the dirt, and it helps the dirt come out without having to slam the tailgate every time they take off.
Right. Keep them having to clean it, it helps to clean it out. And
Do
they're
I-
not very expensive.
Do I have a motion to that effect?
I make a motion that we, purchase the 3 Mack dumps and 1
Three
flatbed.
Kenworths.
3 Kenworths, I'm sorry. I was looking wrong.
And
The
one,
3 Kenworths and the 1 flatbed Kenworth,
one tractor,
flatbed. Yeah.
road tractor.
The motion, I will, do I have a
The
second?
the 3 dump trucks and the 1 flatbed,
The low.
low bore.
Mr. Capps, are you straight now?
I got it.
They're
You
all
got it.
Kenworths.
All Kenworths? Okay,
Off the ACCA bid.
Bid.
okay.
Are you ready for a second, Chairman?
I guess
I second that.
we have a motion and a second to purchase
We might wanna go in and see.
3 Kenworth dump trucks with the vibrator thing,
Dump bed and hammer.
dump bed, with dump bed, and a
Hammer.
Kenworth tractor. And so with that, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of the motion and say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carried.
How did we do, Miss Peggy?
Y'all did a little better. Watch it on TV and see. Watch it on YouTube.
Hope not.
The next item
Hold,
is.
hold.
Wait a
Still
minute.
got tractor.
Okay, all right, come
Dump
on.
piece. We're selling a tractor and 2 boom cutters. And, we need to replace that. And our neighboring county, Connecticut County, has a, it's not quite 4 years old, a Massey Ferguson 5465 tractor plus a Maverick boom cutter attached that they're willing to sell, to us for, I think they are, I don't think they had their meeting yet, but I've been told they will, for 45,000. And I sent Jerry, our mechanic, over to look at it. Tractor's a good tractor, pretty clean. I mean, it's gotta have a little work on the boom, but nothing that's not expected.
Well, if we would get rid of our boom cutters, we gotta have something to cut these right away with. They gonna start.
This would still give us 2 operational
Right.
boom cutters.
2 Maverick boom cutters, John Deere and then it'll be Massey Ferguson.
Yeah.
Do I have a motion that we purchase this, tractor and boom cutter from the Connecticut County?
I make a motion, we buy this tractor, boom cutter.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any other, who seconded it? Mr.
Mr.
Turner?
Elmer.
I got it.
Well, I never can. Any other comments? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. There being none, motion carried unanimously. Next is to consider we have, bids for seed and fertilizer, Mr. Capps.
Yes, sir. Yesterday, we opened bids for seed and fertilizer, and we had 3 bidders, Andalusia Co-op, Florella Co-op, and Opt Co-op. And they all bid the same price for each item. So I just recommend awarding all 3, and then wherever we're closest to, we'll utilize.
I've heard the recommendation of Mr. Capps. What's your pleasure?
I'll make a motion to that. That's a good deal.
Do I have a
I'll
second?
second.
Mr. Martin, second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carried unanimously. Our next item is consider a resolution supporting the Forever Wild proposal regarding the rail to trail opportunity. I made a meeting over there when this was discussed, and, it has to do with the railroad track from Andalusia into Geneva County. 42 something miles, is that right, Mr. Capps?
Yes, sir, about 42 miles.
The railroad company is wanting to sell it. They are asking the Forever Wild organization to purchase it. If they do, it would go into the land trust forever and will be used for public use. And what they're asking is all counties and cities to support the endeavor to get Forever Wild to purchase that railroad track.
I would make a motion that we table this for the time being. I'd have some questions, and I've had some people to ask me, but I'd have some concerns from the landowners with the existing railroad bed going through their property about if it's gonna be fenced or how it's gonna be maintained to keep people from getting off the trail and accessing their property. And I'd just like more information before we make a decision.
We have a motion that we table this for the time being. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. There being none, therefore that item is tabled for future consideration. Okay. The upcoming, board vacancies that we'll need to address next month is the Covington County E911 Board. There are three, positions that are expiring, which are presently held by Mr. Cody Ward, Mr. Joey Williams, and Mr. Sonny Bedsoe. So if the news media will help us get that word out, that we'll, if anyone's interested in serving on the E911 board, to please contact the office here and pick up the appropriate form to apply for that appointment. Okay. I'm going, as Mr. Albritton alluded to earlier, is a economic development project being proposed with joint effort between Covington Electric, the City of Up, and us and other state entities. But, Mr. Albritton, would you please explain what the requirements are for us to consider that?
Sure. The first thing that you have to do is, as I stated earlier, publish in the paper at least 7 days prior to the official hearing and meeting to vote on whether the county would participate in it. You have to publish that in the paper, which will be done. And then after at least 7 days, the county commission can then take public action on whether they want to support this project. And the terms of it will be stated in the notice, which will run in the paper. And as the commission earlier voted, that meeting will be April 18th at 10 o'clock.
Are there any questions?
Item I mentioned to y'all here, you have several items that probably will need to be addressed at this same special meeting because you can take action if we give proper notice. As you're aware, the bid opening for the jail addition is tomorrow. And at that meeting on the 18th, I'm sure that there'll be a need to take action on recommendation.
We can take action on anything that is specifically listed in that call.
That we list, and
Yeah, well, as to any issue other than this economic
Not only
development
this,
project.
but anything,
Right,
any
but
other
anything
issue.
Yeah,
else.
the standard notice would apply, so you would have to give the standard notice you would for any
for
meeting.
anything else, so I'll be sending that notice out with the items for this, that are on that special agenda,
Yeah, this-
including that one.
Yeah, the economic development thing, that's allowed through an amendment to the state constitution, and it sets out the procedure for how that's gotta be approved, and it specifically states that you have to give 7 days' notice prior to any action being taken on an economic development project that might benefit a private company or an individual. That's what we're complying with.
And other items that may be placed on will meet the criteria of a 5-day notice
Right.
for a special meeting.
Right.
So, only the items that's listed in the notification of the special meeting can be considered at that time. Nothing else can be discussed or entered into at that time. So do I have a motion to advertise this project and to have a special call meeting on April the 18th at 10 o'clock?
I so move.
I'll second
Is
it.
that sufficient for your record, Ms.
Yes,
Petty?
sir, thank you.
And Mr. Barton second?
I believe Mr. Barton made the motion.
Motion.
He made the motion.
North.
Mr. Norris second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. There being none, motion carried unanimously. Next item is consider a motion to convene an executive session. I'm gonna call on Mr. Albritton to explain the requirements for the executive session.
As you know, by state law, a deliberative body like this does not have to go into executive session. However, it is allowed to go into executive session. And one of the reasons for that is if the board wants to consider the sale or purchase of property. At the last meeting of the commission, there was a letter presented from Mr. Trey Burgess regarding the old jail, that he would like to purchase that. So if the commission wants to go into executive session to discuss that, they can. However, there has to be a motion specifically requesting that they go into executive session. The motion must state what the purpose of going into the executive session is. The commission must vote to go into executive session, and must state when they intend to reconvene. No deliberation can occur during the executive session. No members of the public are allowed during an executive session. That's the purpose of an executive session. And certainly no action can be taken during the executive session. All votes must be taken at a public meeting. So if the commission wishes to do that, what we would need is a motion requesting to go into executive session to discuss the potential purchase of real property. And it must state when the commission intends to reconvene.
Can we state that the meeting will be adjourned at the conclusion of the executive session?
Nope, you have to come back into a public
Okay.
meeting, then you
We need a
Adjourn
motion
after
to
that.
go into executive session to discuss the disposal of the old county jail.
I'll make a motion, Chairman, go into executive session, discuss jail.
Second.
well, when do you intend to reconvene? How
And
long do
we
you
will
want to be in?
reconvene immediately after the executive
And then we
session.
come back out here.
Yeah, that, you want to say 15 minutes?
Probably within 15 minutes.
Okay,
At 9:45.
at 9:45, that's good.
Did we ever get a second?
No.
Now I need a second to that motion.
Second.
Mr. Terman. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. There being none, motion carried unanimously. At this time, we will convene the executive session in the other board room upstairs.
For 15 minutes, is that what we said?
No more than,
No more than-
9:45.
9:45,
Reconvene at
okay.
9:45.
okay, that'll work.
It won't take long.
Talk about maybe getting one of the chairs.
I do find
Are these things still hot?
Yes.
Mess up everything else.
I haven't gotten, we haven't got a very good machine. Windows XP machine. Does your sign machine have a list of requirements for it? I need to get hold of that. Where's it at? I can go get it.
It's in my office.
Oh, I'll wait till I get done here then. And I'll just get it after the meeting and see if any of these machines meet its requirements.
I think it's like
Right, no.
Do you?
Don't be getting no information out.
And it shows on my face.
Don't give any information out.
It's gonna be gigabytes. None of them,
We'll see you, girl.
See you later.
none of them have that. They
Yeah.
all got one. but, well, I might can take some out of one and put in another and double it if I've got enough processors. What I'm worried about on these old machines, if they've got enough processor speed to handle it. But that's why I said I just need to see its requirements, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
That work?
Yeah.
All right. I'll check with
What
you
would,
after the meeting.
well, you don't know. If I had to get a
If
new one, what
Kevin
it
saw
would
you
cost.
doing that, he would dust you.
Really? I don't mean to. I just don't want to be blasting what I'm saying.
Get off of that thing.
I'm sorry.
That's a kind Terry, that one's getting warped.
I'm sorry.
It's going to that.
But if we had to get a new machine, I mean, we could, depending on its specs, I would assume we could get an i3. I don't know if we need a monitor or not. Do you have a monitor over there that we're used for? I don't have any spare monitors. Kevin may have one. Do you have a spare monitor? If we can get a monitor from him, that'll save some money. Get a machine for $500-600. I'll get the spec list and see if I can even get close to it with what we have. If not, we'll have to order one. Oh, monitor? I met you at,
You sure did.
Huddle
At
House.
the Huddle House.
Sure did.
Yeah, just put that seat. Yeah, well, I'm still running.
You sure are.
I quit. I'm still going all over town. I think that's all y'all can get back.
I don't think Miss Karen has anything that's either working or that she's disposed of or isn't using. I've pieced and parted through all of her stuff to kind of makeshift machines to get her going on other ones.
I wasn't sure, I left a couple of them in that room one time. She said she didn't know what was wrong with it.
The two that are, there's two that are back there right now. One of them, the motherboard's out in, the other one, the hard drive and the power supply have been taken and put in something else.
Okay. That's the only, that's the two that are on the floor kind of on the
I
desk.
believe that's what.
I need to get those and get them over here then, so, for sale, scrap. pretty much.
Monitors though.
But I do have a couple of monitors. You can give it to there and bring it to you.
Yeah, well, I'll get it. It just needs to get over to his office, either through me or through you, one of
Okay,
us.
I'll get it over there.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it. And I will, check as soon as I get that list from, if I got anything out there.
Testing, 1, 2, testing, 1, 2, testing.
What's on the agenda today? 'Cause I heard I got reappointed or something.
You did. Whatever board you were on, it was,
Southeast Alabama Redhead.
yeah, the one you was reappointed to.
Yeah, it said nothing about no salary increase.
It sure didn't. I wasn't getting nothing anyway. At least you didn't get cut, did you? I didn't get cut. That's the positive. That's right. I haven't thought about that. That's right. At least they didn't charge me not to, they cut you. Yeah, but, I said they didn't. They didn't double my salary. Kevin makes a point, they didn't cut me either, so they could have cut me. Testing, 1, 2, testing, 1, 2. Testing, 1, 2. Testing, 1, 2. Testing, 1, 2, testing.
This is spare. If you can round them up, we'll get through.
Yeah, that's right. I'm ready, ain't you?
Been a long day. All right, Mr. Martin, get on up here. We fix to get this over with.
Let Miss Brenda come in here.
If she wants to take notes, she better come on. I got 4 commissioners wanting to go home. We got to get our.
You don't just get through with it. You're supposed to know everything. I don't know. When I ask you questions, you're supposed to be able to answer that.
I'm gonna convene it at 11:45. Will they in here or not?
You don't know, you know?
Gotcha.
Like you're afraid you're gonna fall out.
We been recording what I just said?
I will declare
all I
the
just
meeting
said.
reconvened at this time from the executive session. At this time, I will entertain a motion.
You gotta report what happened at.
of what happened was we discussed Ms. Burgess's offer. I'm not at liberty to tell you what the specifics of that offer are. The commission would like for me to talk with him further to clarify some things. So at this time, I would entertain a motion that we take no action at this time.
I make a motion, we take no action.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carried. Mr. Albritton, is that sufficient?
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay.
I make a motion with adjourn.
Well, you don't want to make any comments?
We got,
Anybody else want to make comment?
man,
Miss
we
Petty, you got any
staff
comment?
wanna make- Oh, I do want to make one comment. I want to commend Mr. Kennedy for getting the shelter built over
Fuel pump.
the fuel pump so that Dennis will not get wet when he fuels up.
Thank God.
Sounds like Dennis ought to be thanking him.
You not aware of it, Sheriff?
What's that? What you talking
No comment.
next time I will convey the message through Miss Pat, and I know you'll get it then. Do I have a
Thank you.
motion that
Good
we
to see you.
adjourn unless
See you.
Miss Petty has anything else?
I don't, but I missed the second on the motion to take no action on the, I got his motion.
I second.
Did you second? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm good now.
all right, y'all go to the Rattlesnake Rodeo now. Spend your money.
All in favor of adjourning, stand.
Can we get a motion to
I make a motion to adjourn anything.
Thank y'all.